Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. The sky demon puppet stood in front of Xiao Yan. Its body was a deep purple color. One could vaguely see a golden light flowing beneath this deep purple color. This sky demon puppet was the one that Xiao Yan had personally refined. Before it had been refined within the lightning pool of the empty realm, this sky demon puppet was around the strength of a 4-star Dozun. Subsequently, it had been strengthened to its limit within the empty realm lightning pool. Based on Xiao Yang's estimations, this sky demon puppet's strength was comparable to a 6-star Dozun, and now it had absorbed the strength of 10 other sky demon puppets that had reached the Dozun class through formation. Its strength had undoubtedly surpassed Xiao Yang. Soul-shattering dark palm. A dense black fog filled with cold air surged over from a short distance away. Black clouds began to churn as a sharp cry was suddenly emitted. Soon after, a small mountain-sized black handprint rushed from the cloud and ruthlessly smashed toward Xiao Yang. The space where this palm passed collapsed into dark black holes. Numerous spatial cracks began to spread from the empty space, creating a spider's web. A grave expression flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes when he sensed the frightening pressure that descended from above his head. Han Li, who had been strengthened by the clan tattoo, undoubtedly possessed a strength that far surpassed him. If both parties were to fight normally, Xiao Yang would only have a 50% chance of victory. Moreover, this 50% chance was quite dangerous. After all, Xiao Yang could still go all out and fight when faced with an 8-star Dozun. However, the current Han Li had vaguely reached the 9th star. The gap between them had been lengthened and even a Qian class Do skill would have difficulty closing such a gap. With the great strength of the Han clan, Han Li had the chance to practice an extremely powerful Qian class Do skill like Ji Yu Yao. However, this fellow would definitely not use it until a critical moment. It so happens that I can use this fellow to test the strength of the sky demon puppet after it has been raised to its limit. The handprint was magnified in Xiao Yang's dark black eyes. He slowly exhaled a breath of air and an order was issued from his heart. When a thought flashed through Xiao Yang's heart, the statue-like sky demon puppet in front of him slowly took a step forward. A golden light lingered within its empty hollow eyes. Its foot stepped on empty air as it transformed into a purple light that shot to the sky. After which, it violently collided with the enormous palm in an extremely shocking manner. Bang! A frightening wind swept over the sky when the two collided. An earth-shaking explosion could be heard within a 1,000-foot radius. Crack! Wind surged and dense lines began to appear on the enormous handprint. The crack lines spread before the energy handprint finally emitted a sound as it split apart. The sky demon puppet and the handprint violently collided. The powerful force of the hand shook the puppet until it took over 10 steps back through empty air. A dark black footprint would be left in the sky each time it stepped back, but after its last step fell, its body shot forward like an arrow. This time around, it charged into the dense black fog. Han Li exclaimed out loud when the sky demon puppet charged into the black fog. All noise disappeared. A moment later, a frightening collision of fist and the whining sound of wind began to ring in the black cloud. Bang bang. Numerous unusually powerful winds shot out from the black cloud. Countless soul-screeching sounds hurriedly appeared. The black cloud had become thinner because of this intense battle. Xiao Yang's eyes were staring at the black cloud. A bright golden light continued to erupt from within. Even the black cloud could not completely hide it. After being strengthened, the current sky demon puppet could be considered complete. With this strength, it could even fight against a 9-star Dozun. While a large battle had erupted within the black cloud, Xiao Yang had taken the opportunity to turn to the other battleground. Zun was fighting Han Ye there. However, from the way Han Ye was suppressed until he was at a disadvantage, Xiao Yang's worry was clearly unnecessary. From the looks of it, Zun could kill Han Ye if she was given enough time. Zun's strength has likely reached the 9th star of the Dozun class. Han Huai's actual strength is only at the peak of the 8th star. The both of them are also members of ancient clans. There is not much of a difference in the Qi method and Do skills that they practice. If it is possible, we should kill these two this time around. No matter how one puts it, they are experts from the younger generation of the Han clan. Their disappearances would cause the Han clan to feel some pain. A cold smile flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes. He and Zun had chased these two for nearly a month. They had exchanged blows with them a couple of times. Each party had obtained their own victories. However, these two fellows were as cunning as foxes. They ultimately refused to meet head-on. Xiao Yang Zun could not give up now that they had happened upon such an opportunity. Bang! While Xiao Yang's heart was thinking of completely finishing off these two fellows, an extremely loud explosion suddenly appeared within the black cloud. A frightening rippling force swept out and tore through the chilly black cloud. A golden light and a black doe chi shot out. They entwined in the sky and formed brilliant fireworks. Bang! The black cloud burst apart and two figures flew out. They staggered through the air for over 100 meters. Only then did they slowly stabilize their bodies. Xiao Yang's eyes shot over when these two figures appeared. He narrowed his eyes. Some vague handprints were visible to the naked eye on the sky demon puppet. It seemed that he had forcefully received quite a number of fierce attacks by Han Li during the big battle earlier. Fortunately, the current sky demon puppet was no longer what it was. Otherwise, its body would have ended up exploding after failing to endure the attacks. The sky demon puppet was slightly damaged, but Han Li was clearly more miserable. Not only was his hair a mess, but his clothes had been shaken until they were in tatters. A trace of blood vaguely hung on the corner of his mouth. Han Li had clearly suffered a big loss this time around. Within the Han clan, Han Li had gained a fierce reputation because of his all-out fighting method. This kind of all-out fighting method might be useful when facing other experts, but it did not have the slightest effect against the sky demon puppet since it had no sense of pain. It only knew how to obey Xiao Yang's orders. Both parties had exchanged one punch for another. One was a puppet, while the other was a physical body. No matter how one looked at it, the physical body would be the party that lost out. Damn it! How can this fellow possess such a powerful puppet? Han Li panted through his mouth. His eyes were furious as he looked at the sky demon puppet, which had withdrawn into the distance. He had not expected Xiao Yang to possess such a thing. After exchanging blows earlier, he discovered that the body of the puppet was like a tortoise shell even though he was not afraid after having used the clan tattoo. It remained indifferent no matter how he attacked. The thing that caused Han Li to be speechless was that this thing might be able to act indifferently, but he was not able to ignore its attack. This kind of fight caused him to feel quite stifled. Go! Xiao Yang in the distance smiled as he watched Han Li, whose expression had changed. He stretched his lazy waist and flicked his finger. The sky demon puppet immediately shot forward. It ruthlessly rushed toward Han Li. That ferocious momentum caused Han Li's expression to turn a little green. How unlucky. We have ended up meeting the Heavenly Tomb's great storm. Let's hurry and run. If the storm catches up, even an expert at the peak of the Do Zun class will end up dying here. While the upper hand of the fight was gradually shifting toward Xiao Yang's group, a couple of figures shot through the air some distance away. A dense energy hurricane was whistling on the horizon behind them. It formed an extremely frightening domino effect that resulted in a large energy storm swiftly forming. Zun's golden flame ruthlessly smashed into Han Huai's chest amid the intense battle in the sky. The frightening wind shook Han Huai until he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. He staggered over a dozen steps back. Zun was just about to give chase after injuring Han Huai with a palm when her expression changed. She hurriedly raised her head and saw a brilliant line connecting the sky and the earth as it swiftly traveled from the horizon. This is the Heavenly Tomb's great energy storm. Zun's eyes suddenly shrank as she looked at the frightening energy storm that saturated the air. She halted her body, tilted her head, and anxiously cried out to Xiao Yang, "Xiao Yang Gge, hurry up and leave." Xiao Yang was startled when he heard Zun cry. He sensed something and turned his head. He looked to the horizon and inhaled a gentle breath of cold air. Without hesitating, he swung his hand and called back the sky demon puppets. After which, he moved and appeared beside Zun. The both of them rushed to the entrance of the third level with lightning-like speed in front of the stunned gazes of Hun Ya's duo. "This is Energy Storm." Hun Ya wiped off the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth. He turned his head and the corner of his mouth twitched. He no longer cared that his two nemesis had left. After exchanging glances with Hun Li, they began to dash in a miserable fashion. They might still have a chance of surviving when fighting Xiao Yang's group, but if they were swept into the storm, they would definitely end up dying. While the duo began to flee in a miserable manner, numerous blurry black figures in the sky behind began to appear. In an instant, the originally dead quiet land, which was void of life, began to dance with a strange liveliness. However, these people had all turned around and wildly dashed away as perspiration filled their faces. The dead quiet land was filled with the sound of a rumbling storm. The energy storm that spread across the ground swept over from a great distance. Even the space where it passed began to crumble. Its black mass was extremely terrifying. "What is that?" Xiao Yang followed close behind Zun. He sensed the frightening pressure that was being transmitted from far behind him before he asked in a somewhat solemn manner. "The Heavenly Tomb's energy storm, a kind of natural disaster here. Its strength is extremely frightening. Even someone at the peak of the Do Zun class will end up dying if he is forcefully swept into it. When the experts from the few clans entered the Heavenly Tomb past, some of the unlucky individuals would meet this energy storm and get swept into it." Zun softly replied. "It is unexpected that we are this unlucky this time around. We have actually met this thing. Normally speaking, an energy storm will only erupt once every few years. In any case, let's run first. The area affected by the energy storm is extremely vast. The entire second level will be within its impact area. Therefore, we must enter the third level in order to dodge it." Zun explained in a worried voice. "Understood." Xiao Yang nodded. He turned his head and looked far behind him. Two figures were miserably following them. They were Hun Ya's duo. However, Xiao Yang did not have the time to be bothered about them at this moment. "There are others." Xiao Yang suddenly saw numerous black figures rushing over with lightning-like speed when his eyes swept behind them. After which, they caught one after another. Everyone swept their eyes around and was stunned. "Ha ha, it is unexpected that Brother Xiao Yang's speed is this quick and has long since reached this place." The two figures were comprised of a man and a woman. They were Huxian and the red-clothed lady with a veil on her face from the Yang clan. At this moment, Huxian's eyes were looking at Xiao Yang in front. His expression became one of joy as he increased his speed and laughed. Xiao Yang also smiled when he heard this voice. He cupped his hands to Huxian's group in the distance before he smiled and said, "Brother Huxian is also quite fast." Huxian smiled. He and the red-clothed lady swiftly caught up with Xiao Yang's group. Their eyes swept over Xiao Yang and the two of them were startled. "Brother Xiao Yang has advanced. I was merely lucky." Xiao Yang laughed. Huxian exchanged glances with the red-clothed lady when he saw that Xiao Yang did not deny his words. He saw some surprise in the other party's eyes. It was unexpected that Xiao Yang's strength had advanced after having entered the Heavenly Tomb for half a year. This speed was quite frightening. It seems that those two fellows from the Hun clan are behind. Huxian's eyes glanced behind as he laughed. "We have been entangled with them for a month. Unfortunately, this energy storm had spoiled our plans." Xiao Yang grinned and replied. Huxian's brows involuntarily twitched when he heard Xiao Yang's words. His heart was a little shaken. He naturally understood what Xiao Yang's nonchalant words meant. Hun Ya and Hun Li were both 8-star Do Zun experts and were extremely strong. The two of them could even fight a 9-star Dozun if they joined hands. It was unexpected that they were unable to gain an advantage against Xiao Yan and Zun. This energy storm has swept over the entire second level of the heavenly tomb. The only way to avoid it is to enter the third level. We are quite close to the third level, and should be able to enter it before the storm catches up if we speed up a little. Huxian smiled and said, "We might be able to take care of each other during this period of time. What do you say, brother Xiao Yang?" "No problem." Xiao Yang merely grinned. He would naturally not reject Huxian's attempt to be friendly, especially at such a moment. An additional helper would mean that their chances of survival would be much greater. The two smiled at each other after coming to an agreement. Zun and the red-clothed lady beside them did not interrupt their conversation. When their eyes crossed each other, they nodded slightly and shifted their gazes away. The four of them moved closer after the discussion was over. Their eyes cautiously swept around them. After which, their bodies rushed forward with lightning-like speed. It is unexpected that those fellows from the Yang clan have gotten together with Xiao Yang. Behind them, Han Yue was gloomy as he watched Xiao Yang's duo get together with Huxian's group. His expression involuntarily became cold. Their current fighting strength could not compare with Xiao Yang's duo. If they were to gain some additional helpers, the two who would be in a bad situation would be them. HMPH, all of you can be pleased for a little longer. None of you will be able to escape once we reach the third level. A brutal expression flashed across Han Yue's eyes. His speed once again soared. Both he and Han Yue turned into blurry black figures that swiftly flew to the entrance of the third level. The fleeing for one's lid continued for nearly half a day. The speed of Xiao Yang's group was maintained at the limit during this half a day. Hence, the exhaustion of their Do Qi had reached a frightening level. Fortunately, the few of them still had quite a lot of energy cores remaining in their hands. Hence, they wouldn't need to worry about exhausting their Do Qi for a period of time. Although their used Do Qi was replenished, their fatigued minds were causing Xiao Yang's group to feel a little tired. The energy storm in hot pursuit behind them was just like the sickle of a death god. None of them dared to slight it. Xiao Yang Ge, we are fast approaching the entrance of the third level. Zana suddenly looked into the distance as they fled with all their strength. She opened her mouth and made a comment. Xiao Yang and Huxian rejoiced when they heard her words. They carefully sensed in that direction, and could indeed feel a vague energy pressure in the distance. Let's go. Increase our speed. Xiao Yang laughed out loud when he saw that the entrance was within sight. He waved his hand and his speed suddenly soared. His figure was just like a meteorite as it drew through the sky, disappearing within a couple of flashes. Han Yue's group behind had also sensed something when Xiao Yang's group discovered the entrance to the third level. They braced their attention, and their originally tired minds became high-spirited as they went all out to be quicker. An enormous energy curtain poured down from the sky in the distance. It was inserted into the ground, appearing like a heavenly wall. At this moment, 4 figures were seated in front of the energy light curtain. One of them raised his head a moment later. He looked into the distance and faintly said, "They have all come. Along with them is the energy storm." As expected. A silver-robed man and a burly-looking man sighed when they heard this. The former curled his mouth and said, "Ji Yuzhen, aren't you a little too calm? That is the energy storm. If we were swept up by it, none of us here would survive." "Ha ha, it is not that I am calm, but it is pointless to panic. Plus, General Qing Yang is here. The worst scenario will likely not occur." Ji Yuzhen faintly smiled as he replied. "You, that green-clothed man, who had his eyes shut, involuntarily smiled and opened them when he heard this. He looked into the distance and said, "The energy light has already solidified. We can only forcefully create a tunnel. However, just the 4 of us will not be able to perform such an undertaking. Therefore, we must wait for the others even though we have come first. You are afraid of being overly exhausted to the point of being unable to deal with the situation after entering the third level, right?" Ji Yuzhen shook his head and laughed. The green-clothed man smiled, but did not refute those words. He slowly stood up, looked into the distant sky, and said, "Zunna and the rest have arrived." A couple of figures surfaced in the sky soon after his words sounded. They appeared in front of this energy curtain within a couple of flashes. All of them were startled when they saw the four people seated outside. Jiyu Qingyang. The speed of you four is really fast. Xian looked at the four individuals. He softly commented after being briefly startled. Big brother Qingyang, why have all of you not entered? The energy storm is arriving. Zunna also slowly landed from the sky. She knit her brows and asked. The light curtain has solidified and must be forcefully broken. We have been waiting for everyone. Jiyu Qingyang faintly smiled. His eyes swept over Xiao Yan and a strange expression flashed across his eyes. He turned to Zunna and asked, "Are you all right?" "It's nothing. We have merely danced with those two fellows from the Han clan for a month." Zunna shook her head as she answered. "Those two dared to attack you?" The green-clothed man frowned when he heard this. The usually calm Jiyu also lifted his head. There was a chill in his eyes, but the one who eventually asked her a question was that silver-robed man. They didn't gain an advantage, Zunna smiled. She turned her head, only to see numerous rays of light rushing over. They turned into numerous figures that appeared. Their eyes looked over. These people were those who had entered the heavenly tomb back then. However, they were a little miserable. Han Ya and Han Li had remained at the back. Clearly, they were afraid that Xiao Yang's group would attack at this moment. Now is not the time to fight with them. We do not have the time, Xiao Yang whispered when he saw the appearance of the green-clothed man. The green-clothed man did not ignore Xiao Yang's words. He naturally understood that the most important task was to break the energy light curtain and enter the third level. Everyone, all of you should be aware of the situation. However, this energy light curtain that leads to the third level has solidified. We must forcefully break it in order to enter the third level. However, this undertaking cannot be completed by a single person. Hence, if everyone wishes to live, we must join hands and break it. Otherwise, we will all perish together when the storm comes. The green-clothed man stepped forward. His eyes swept around as he spoke in a faint voice. Everyone's expression changed when they heard his words. They mused for a moment before slowly nodding. Those who could enter this place were no mediocre individuals. They naturally understood that there was only one path left for them, enter the third level or perish. Jiyu Qingyang smiled after seeing everyone nod their heads. He glanced at the energy storm in the distance and said, "Since there are no objections, let us all begin. This is my suggestion, so we shall be the first to act. Everyone will take turns later on. Of course, do not blame me for speaking bluntly. If anyone wishes to be lazy or have any ill thoughts, do not blame me for being rude." His eyes swept over everyone when he spoke. They finally paused on Han Ya and Han Li, but his smiling face seemed indifferent. General Qingyang can rest assured. Everyone is now in the same boat. Whoever intends to sink this boat will not be let off by the others. A man with a lightning symbol on his forehead opened his mouth to speak. He was a member of the Lei clan, one of the 8 ancient clans. "Ha ha, thank you very much," Jiyu Qingyang laughed. After which, he turned his head to Jiyu and the 2 others. "Let's act first. Xiao Yang and Zunna, you will be the last." Xiao Yang slightly nodded when he saw Jiyu Qingyang shift his eyes to him at the end. He understood that Jiyu Qingyang had placed them last to monitor Han Ya's group. "All right, let's begin." That silver-robed man laughed. After which, he slowly walked to the light curtain with the other 3. Do Qi whistled out of their bodies like floodwater, transforming into numerous unusually large Do Qi pillars that ruthlessly smashed into the solidified light. Bang! The offensive strength of the 4 of them joining hands was unusually frightening. Even though that light curtain was extremely hard, it cracked under this attack. Finally, a crack sounded and a 10-foot large hole, about 3 to 4 meters tall, appeared. Bang bang bang. Everyone sighed in relief when they saw that the attack was effective. Immediately, Jiyu Qingyang and the three others erupted again. Their hands were wrapped in their bright do qi and appeared, just like sharp blades, as they were ruthlessly inserted into the crystal wall. Solid energy fragments continued to shoot out. The four of them were undoubtedly just like drilling machines at this moment. Majestic do qi surged and the hole that they created became deeper. This kind of tunnel opening continued for 10 minutes or so. Jiyu Qingyang and the three others finally halted after perspiration covered their foreheads. They turned their heads and took a look. They had already dug a 10-foot-long tunnel. Everyone had swarmed in behind them, and were curiously studying the surrounding energy crystal layer. This light curtain was over 1,000 feet wide. Hence, it would require over an hour to pass through it even with the group continuously opening the tunnel. This undertaking would not be finished even after an entire week, if there were only 1 or 2 people. General Qingyang, allow us to continue. The 2 men from the Lei clan behind laughed when they saw Jiyu Qingyang's group coming to a stop. They naturally understood that Jiyu Qingyang's group could still continue. However, they were clearly planning to preserve some strength. It was impossible for them to allow themselves to become completely exhausted. After all, the relationship between the 8 ancient clans was not as friendly as one imagined. Caution would definitely form when next to one another. Ha ha, in that case, we'll trouble brother Lei Luo, Jiyu Qingyang laughed. After which, the 4 of them pulled back. The 2 members from the Lei clan strode forward. Bright lightning glows gathered on their fists. Finally, they emitted a low cry as they ruthlessly smashed forward. Rumbling sounds once again appeared in the tunnel. The energy storm is getting closer. While everyone were advancing with the opening of the tunnel, Xiao Yan, who was at the back, turned his head and looked at the entrance of the tunnel. The energy pressure that was transmitted from the outside was becoming stronger. One could vaguely hear the whistling wind that had been created by the energy storm. It is likely not possible to barge into the energy storm. Zana smiled and comforted when she saw Xiao Yang's eyes. Has the entrance to the 3rd level always been solidified? Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. His hand suddenly rubbed the solid energy crystal beside him. This brilliant thing had been agglomerated from an extremely frightening energy. Moreover, it was compressed to an unimaginable level. Only then did it form such a vast energy curtain. It is rumored that the light curtain of this place had already solidified even when our 8 clans first came here. Even after a countless number of years, the solid energy here still does not show any signs of melting. Zana nodded gently and replied. Xiao Yang clicked his tongue and sighed. This heavenly tomb was indeed mysterious. The tunnel became longer while Xiao Yang and Zana were chatting, but the 2-man team from the Lei clan was unable to compete with Jiyu Qingyang's 4-man group. Hence, they had opened less than a 50-foot distance when they were replaced. Fortunately, there were still many people behind. One group after another took turns to step forward, allowing the energy tunnel to grow deeper. Bang! After this tunnel creation continued for another 10 minutes or so, an earth-shaking sound suddenly reverberated behind them. Everyone sensed the light curtain violently shake at this moment. The energy storm has swept over. This kind of activity caused the tunnel to immediately become quiet. Everyone's expressions were somewhat solemn. Such a large energy curtain was shaken by the energy storm. If they had still been outside at this moment, they would have immediately turned to dust. Everyone, let's speed up. Jiyu Qingyang knit his brows before opening his mouth to incentivize everyone. Although they had avoided the energy storm, it was still overly pressuring. The surrounding brilliant energy crystals might be beautiful, but they gave one an uncomfortable feeling. Everyone nodded slightly upon hearing his voice. Huoxian's group was opening the tunnel at the front, and they increased their attacking speed. With the flow of them, Xiao Yang and Zun had also opened up the tunnel twice. Breaking the crystal layer was not as difficult as Xiao Yang had imagined. The crystal layers might be extremely hard, but it was not some unchewable bone to Xiao Yang, who possessed a couple of heavenly flames. Hun Ya and Hun Li had also performed some hard labor while monitored by Xiao Yang's group. However, it was obvious that they were loafing on the job. Nevertheless, there was no time to make a fuss at this moment. No matter how unpleasing Xiao Yang's group found them to be, everything had to wait until they exited the energy tunnel. During this period of time, Xiao Yang's eyes paid attention to the two from the Yao clan. The ones from the Yao clan, who had entered the heavenly tomb, were the man with some mysterious lines on his clothes and the sexily-clad lady. From the aura of the both of them, they should be at the 7th star of the Do Zun class. Their fighting strength appeared to be inferior to Hun Ya's group on the surface. The gazes that these two people occasionally gave Xiao Yang were quite unfriendly, but Xiao Yang was too lazy to pay too much attention to them. The geniuses from the ancient clans always contained a faint superiority in their hearts. When facing an ordinary human, such a superior feeling would appear especially strong. The rumbling sound continued to appear within the tunnel. Xiao Yang shut his eyes slightly, but he had just shut his eyes when an unusual sound was suddenly transmitted into his ear, causing him to open his eyes once again. He looked at the crystal wall to his left before touching it with his hand. He had ended up discovering a layer of faint energy liquid seeping from it. This is... Xiao Yang was startled. His eyes swept over the crystal walls on both sides, and his body paused there for a moment. After which, he flicked his finger in front of Zun's uncertain eyes. Two energy pillars extended from the tip of his finger. They finally connected to the crystal walls beside them. Xiao Yang's unusual actions had attracted the notice of the others. All of them looked at him in surprise. Even the two who were opening the tunnel at the front had halted. Their faces were at a loss. Xiao Yang. Jiyu Qingyang frowned slightly and cried out. However, Xiao Yang acted as though he did not hear Jiyu Qingyang's cry. He slowly lifted his head and looked at everyone. The blood on his face had greatly diminished as he replied in a dry voice, "The crystal wall is closing." The tunnel immediately became dead quiet when Xiao Yang's voice sounded. Jiyu Qingyang's expression had become much uglier at this moment. He created two energy pillars, just like Xiao Yang. After sensing carefully, he did indeed feel a slight pressure being transmitted from the energy pillar. Bastard, what kind of a damn place is this? Everyone felt their head become numb when they saw Jiyu Qingyang's expression. Someone even involuntarily cursed. Ji Yuzhen's face was grave. He quickly walked to the side of the crystal wall and touched it with his hand. He immediately yelled in a deep voice, "There is something in the crystal wall." Bang! Ji Yuzhen's words had just sounded when he ruthlessly smashed the crystal wall. A crack line formed at that spot, and a dense snow-white thing wiggled within it. A liquid-like substance seeped out before covering the surface of the crystal body. It quickly solidified and formed a layer of extremely thin substance energy. These things are secreting energy to repair the crystal wall. Xiao Yang inhaled a gentle breath of cool air when he saw the worm. A chill surged within his heart as he slowly turned around. His eyes swept around him. This energy light curtain that stood between the sky and earth had, by these small snow-white insects. From the size of these small insects, if they wished to create such a large light curtain, their numbers, just how frightening were they? They had barged into an incomparably overbearing insect nest. While Xiao Yang's heart felt a chill, Jiyu Qingyang and the rest had focused on the snow-white small insects. After which, their faces slowly turned pale white. Ancient devouring insect. Part 1 end here.